Staying true to the way he's acted since the killings took place, he was once again all smiles.
It's cold-blooded murder.
Make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to Spacebound for more top 10 videos every day. Turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Leave a friendly comment and I'll make sure to reply to every single one of you. Murderers come and go, with some feeling truly guilty for their actions, to some regretting getting caught, to even more select few who share no regret whatsoever for what they've done and are even for some reason proud of the matter. Hi and welcome to another Spacebound video, where today we'll be listing 10 murderers who showed zero remorse for victims during their court cases. Number 10. William MacDonald. The first of his kind from Australia, William was the original serial killer to Aussies with nicknames like Jack the Ripper of Australia, but mostly just the Mutilator for obvious reasons. Terrorizing the city of Sydney between 1961 to 62, Mr. MacDonald took the lives and genitals of 5 victims which he tossed away after keeping for a few days. There was no particular reasoning from him behind his motives aside from naturally feeling compelled to act out his actions, which I guess makes sense from a psychological standpoint, but still. While in court, in his future interviews, MacDonald would say, "I wouldn't want a new start, I would be afraid I would do the same thing again. They say leopard never changes its spots. There's something in me that's just built in, and it's something I can't change. Naturally feeling driven to commit his crimes with no thought to what might come of them." Apprehended in '63, MacDonald dealt with a life sentence up until his death in 2015, which he was happy about, also mentioning how the idea of staying out there frightens me. Number 9. Thomas Michael T.J. Lane. Instigating the horrific day of the Chardon High School shooting on February 27, 2012 comes T.J. Lane, whom by judging by his court video did not regret his actions when randomly killing 3 students and injuring another 3 with a handgun. T.J. was tried for 3 counts of murder, where he baffled the jury with his defense.
All rise. The Geauga County Court of Common Pleas is now in session. The Honorable David L. Fury presiding.
Please be seated.
Thank you, Your Honor. To my left is Nicholas Sperling, Geauga County Assistant Prosecutor, Mark Bartolotta, Geauga County.
Likely knowing he'd lose the case, he jokingly wore a shirt reading "Killer" and treated the whole ordeal as if it were a joke by smiling, cussing the court out, and even flipping off the victims' families.
Your Honor, it's fantastic.
Saying pull the trigger that killed your son, you know, masturbates to memory. Love you.
Number 8. Gary Leon Ridgway. Known as the Green River Killer, Gary comes in as the most prolific American serial killer in history, at least according to his confirmed 90-plus murders committed from 1982 to 1998.
The charge of aggravated murder in the first degree as charged in count 1 for the death of Wendy Lee Caulfield.
Guilty.
How do you plead to the charge of aggravated murder in the first degree as charged in count 2?
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Performing the sacred act of necrophilia on his victims, all of which were women and most being sex workers at one point, Gary at one point was the most hated man in the United States, along with the fact that he showed no facial expression when confronted by the victims' families and friends in court. It definitely did not help his case in that matter. Number 7. Tommy Lynn Sells.
I am hatred. When you look at me, you look at hate.
When I look at you, I look at hate.
When you look at me, you know what hate is.
Next on our list is Tommy Sells, who was convicted for the confirmed murders of more than 22 adults and children from 1980 to 2000 and sentenced to death by electric chair in 2014, 14 years after his initial arrest. The exact number of victims, however, is still unknown, but we can blame this as a ripple effect thanks to his neglectful mother who allowed one of their friends to molest him. People are weird and messed up. As well, Tommy was documented on the show Nightline, which allowed us to get a more of an inside look at what a psychopath is thinking or feeling, as his thoughts are truly frightening, that someone can actually get a sense of fulfillment from killing anyone.
The first time I killed somebody, it was such a rush. And it was just like that shot of dope. Every time I did it, it was that rush again.
Number 6. Joseph Paul Franklin.
I threw that magazine down on the coffee table and thought, I'm gonna kill that guy.
Filled with hate towards anyone who was not a white Christian, Joseph was one of Missouri's most notorious racists, constantly attempting to begin a race war whenever he possibly could.
And I saw that interracial couple that he had photographed there having sex, and it just made me sick.
Most known for his attempted murder against Larry Flynt for producing a magazine cover portraying an interracial couple. I know, pretty ridiculous, right? But anyways, Joseph is also responsible for the death of 22 other men and women who were not white, of course. Showing how unrepentant he really was for everything he has done, Joseph was interviewed by CNN prior to his death by injection, explaining how he was truly believing that his actions were right to do and was a request from God himself.
3 years, just the same length of time Jesus was on his mission from the time he was 30 until he was 33.
And what was your mission?
Well, to try to get a race war started.
Number 5. Ian Bradley, one of the most hated men in England from the very moment of his arrest up until his death in May of 2017. Ian was the murderer of 5 innocent children. Explaining how he and his accomplice would kidnap, molest, torture, and then murder his victims during his confession and trial, Ian seemed to have shown no emotion towards any of the victims or the immense amount of hatred from the entire community. And although he was diagnosed as psychotic, he would confidently say otherwise on a very constant basis. Number 4. Joanna Dennehy. Referred to as a spree killer, 33-year-old Joanna was responsible for the deaths of 3 men in 2013. Admitting to mercilessly butchering them for the fun of it, Joanna also had a goal of 9 murders, hoping that one day she can compare herself to Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde. Named cruel, calculating, and selfish by the judge at her hearing, Joanna described this whole thing as a game and treated it like a joke with a smile on her face from starting at her arrest to her life sentence in court with absolutely zero sympathy from the judge. She is also one of only 3 women from England to have ever received a life sentence. Number 3. Michael Elijah Adams.
I just ran into a big homie from FTRA. One of the founding 13 members from Libby, Montana. Went and stole $80 from my mom, and the rest is history.
Describe it. Describe to somebody who's never imagined it.
Well, it's just pick up and go wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go. Nobody to tell you what to do. You're always ducking and dodging, hustling. We were the big dogs. We stayed on the border. We were the violent ones. I mean, guns, drugs, and girls.
A drifter himself, 48-year-old Michael, was someone who'd proudly take the lives of 16 other train drifters since he was 14. According to Michael himself, he even admits to providing a public service to the U.S. by being a cold-blooded enforcer and blocking the way of drug transportations to other states, as apparently it's a popular way to transport product.
What's the total number of bodies they say you're good for?
I don't know, I got 16 showing. There's a lot of shitty people on the street.
And you caught to it, you went in and took care of it.
I'm proud of what I did.
How would you generally do it? I mean, how would you go about it?
Pistol, gun, axe handle, 2x4, whatever, wherever. If you catch somebody, you on the street, you might catch a child molester that owes you $20. Well, bang, bang, it's done.
Following his arrest, Adams found himself with a definite life sentence and even said happily that he's glad he could finally retire and live somewhere stable because he's proud of what he did. Number 2. Michael Swanson.
It's cold-blooded murder. Cold-blooded murder, young man.
Trouble from day one, Michael wasn't like most kids as he'd have a difficult time sleeping, socializing, or even just standing still, as well as he would commit regular acts of aggression towards his mother, which she'd confess to, along with one situation where he would assault another child at daycare. By 11, even his own psychiatrist admitted that he was a lost cause, and by 17, he had committed the murders of 2 Iowa mothers, Shea Myers and Vicki Bowman Hall, at random. Considering Michael's state of mind throughout his life, it's clear that his actions were, while predictable at some point, were also met with no remorse. And while on trial, would smile and laugh nearly the whole time. And finally, number 1, Mzameleni Cele. Sentenced to 30 years for 2 counts of murder and hold of a firearm comes the man who would drink the blood of his 2 victims after killing them. At least until willingly brought up and was laughed about to the judge's face. Even when the journalists would try to take photos, he'd just laugh and hide his face, so, I guess sorry about that. It amazes me though, after doing this list, just how evil some people can be. It's honestly bone-chilling. So in the comments below, before I end this off, let me know what you thought about all these. And with that being said, that concludes 10 murderers who show no remorse in court. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for better content to come in the future. Also on screen now is going to be a couple other videos with annotations to them, so if you've liked this video, these videos you might also like as well. But before you do that, make sure to check the description down below at the very bottom. You'll see a link to a foundation for a good cause. Please make sure to check that out and really give it a good look. But besides that, have yourselves a very safe and good day.